What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate the new subscribers. And yeah, let's jump into this kit right here. This is a full mechanics kit, so it's a 1/100, just like a master grade, but I believe it just has less detail than a master grade, maybe less parts and things like that. But overall, it's a striking kit. Me and my 3-year-old built this. It's actually his model kit, and so I'm reviewing it so that I can let him have it and play with it. Let's go ahead and jump into the actual suit itself, and we'll check it out. It is a transforming suit. It has a cool looking transformation. I'm probably not going to transform it because I'm not into the transformations of the Gundam suits, but this particular one does have a really cool looking transformation. It's almost like a jet. That's what this big gray thing hanging off his back is. But let's jump into the actual kit. So this is everything that comes with it. 2 beam sabers, a beam rifle, and a kind of crab shield. But we'll jump into the crab shield when we get into like the articulation of everything. I would say the overall aesthetics of it are really cool. If you got it on your shelf next to some other things, it's definitely going to stand out with the orange and white and yellow color scheme. I have a couple of other master grades that I can kind of throw up behind it, if he doesn't stab me with his beam saber. But it'll kind of give you a look at kind of where it stands. Like I said, it's the size of a master grade, so it's a pretty big kit. It's like I don't know, 12 inches, 11 inches. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big kit. But let me get this rotating table out of here, and we'll get him sitting down on the actual photo booth thing here. And he will stand on his own. His backpack is extremely heavy. It will cause him to topple over, so it's something that you're gonna have to be aware of. If you're gonna display him standing or anything, you're gonna need a base. He doesn't have a base. He doesn't come with a base. Most or all full mechanics kits don't come with a base, but this one doesn't either. I don't know why it doesn't. It's really back heavy. Like right now I have the shield up front, like a kind of a counterbalance, and I don't know if Bandai did that on purpose, kind of made the shield more hefty so that it could hold up the back when you had him in a standing position. But yeah, let's jump into everything. The hands are the typical full mechanics hands. Excuse me. They're kind of like in between a high grade and a master grade. They're on a ball joint that does rotate forward and backwards like that completely, so that you can get different positions. But as far as it sitting in the actual arm, like this little round polycap or whatever this is that this sticks in, it doesn't hold it up very well. It will drop on you. It gets kind of droopy because this weapon is kind of heavy. It's two pieces, I think, 2 or 3 pieces. But yeah, just beware of the wrists. The wrists aren't that good. The left arm's nice and sturdy. And like I said, if you wanted to, you could flip it back and forth like that and have him doing some real crazy stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and pull his hands off, just so they're not falling off or anything like that, so we can get into the suit itself. As far as the arm rotation goes, it's pretty much standard like all kits or detailed kits. It'll spin. These little wings are on a rotation right here. There's not very much detail on the inside here, so when you do have it open, it kind of just looks crappy. I tend to leave it like this, just kind of behind it. Gives it a little bit of orange flare, but it can't really see the lack of detail. But yeah, the arms rotate pretty standardly. They do push open and up like that, and that is for the transformation, which makes him look crazy. Like I said, he does have a pretty cool jet style transformation. Again, I'm not going to transform him, but if you want to see that, I'm sure there's a few other people that have reviewed this particular kit, and you can get a better example of somebody who does the transformation all the time. He has these like little neck antennas that move up and down. His head is not going to rotate. His little shoulder Vulcans here are just too high. It does have a GN drive in there. I don't know. I believe that you can put a light in there, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I believe you can put a light in there. Maybe not. Don't take my word for that. I might be wrong. But as far as the arms go, yeah, it has normal rotation. Head's not going to rotate. The waist is pretty much stuck in place as well. You can get a little bit of turning on it. It's not very good. The legs, of course, have the pretty much standard high grade articulation. You're not going to get too much out of it. It's not going to be too fancy. And as you can see, the front skirts come off because they have a crappy polycap joint. They do, since we're here, they do move kind of up and down kind of ish. It's not the best, but I mean, then again, I think most people are going to buy this kit for the aesthetics of it and not really care about the fact that the articulation isn't the best. When you buy a full mechanics kit, you know that it doesn't have the perks and gimmicks that a master grade does. It's basically a high grade just in 1/100 form. It does have quite a bit of detail, and I have panel lined most of it just because I'm giving it to my son, and I don't want it to look really plain. I want him to, you know, be interested in it and stuff like that. And I think that panel lining and things like that add visual interest, or can pique people's interest about the kits, just adding the detail to it. There are these little rubber joints in here. I don't know if you can see that, but they're these little light blue parts. These are actually little rubber joints, and there's several of them on this kit. Let me pull the shield off. There are several of them. There's two there. There's two on the back of the arm here. This one's covered up by this shield adapter, and of course there are some on the thighs right here. The legs, they have these cool little blades, and again, this is for the flight form. The feet are probably the weirdest that I've seen so far. They basically don't have any feet. It's kind of like this little claw thing, and then the actual feet, and they just kind of slide in there like that. So I mean, it's pretty cool, but it's definitely different. Really big ankle armor, I guess you could call it. Do have verniers that are kind of crappy looking. The plastic's good and everything like that, but I mean, as far as the look of it without it being painting, I don't prefer it. I don't like the yellow on this kit, but again, it's for my son. He likes it, and so we're gonna rock with it. As far as the back skirts goes, that is a solid piece of plastic. There is some color separation. As you can see, I haven't put any panel lining in there. I don't know why. I guess I just now noticed it. But yeah, the butt flap's not gonna move. It's there. The beam sabers, the handles actually tuck up in behind the rear skirts right here, and so you get a cool little, like, you know, effect where it's sitting in the back skirt. I prefer them to have the beams in them, but I've already got one in his hand, so we'll put that one in the back, and we will leave it there for the rest of the review here. This one will be kind of short just because there's not a lot to this kit. There's not a lot of gimmicks other than the transformation, and again, I don't really do the flight form transformations. Nothing against them, I just don't really prefer the flight forms. If you guys want to see the flight forms, I'll do them. If somebody wants to leave a comment and say, hey man, why don't you do all the flight forms for all the suits that you've reviewed, then I'll go back and I'll make a video of all the flight forms. I don't have a problem doing it, but it just takes more time, and I'm already pressed for time with my family and things like that, trying to do reviews. It gets kind of hectic, and I'm a construction worker, so when I get off work, I'm kind of tired. let's jump into this little shield thing. This shield does pop open like this, open and out, and you got this cool like crab claw kind of weapon going on here. Yeah, it doesn't hold together very well. These little, come on now, these little arms, these little fingers, they just pop out when you start messing with them. So I just kind of leave it closed and let it look cool. It looks cool. I don't know what the purpose of it is. I guess grabbing other mobile suits and crushing them or whatever, but you know, as far as like being an actual shield, I don't know how much this would protect them, being all the seams and everything like that. But it does have a cool transforming gimmick, and it will go up on his arm, and it's basically a counterbalance for the front part of the jet. And speaking of that, it does have some gimmicks itself. These pop out when you put this guy's head in here, I believe. And yeah, there you go. You got a cone head now. You have a cone head Gundam, the first of its kind. Now, I'm old, so if you don't know what cone heads is, you know, don't worry about it. It's an old movie. This kit does come with some stickers. They're mainly for the chest pieces. These GN like drive looking circle parts on the arms and the chest, of course, and then the side of the head, which is pretty cool. Has this like chicken head, so that's cool. Has like the little chicken, I don't know what that's called on a chicken, but you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, overall this kit is pretty good. I would recommend it. It's pretty cheap. It's like 35 bucks, I think, is what I picked it up from my local hobby shop. Again, it does have its quirks and downsides. The right wrist here is real loose, like it just barely holds on. The gun tends to kind of flop around sometimes in the actual hand, and you have to use the shield as a counterbalance. And there goes a leg. The legs will come out too. This whole kit is just kind of, you know, it's a high grade. It's a giant high grade. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to pose it, you know, and get it into certain positions and things like that. Don't expect like master grade quality, but it is a good kit. Overall, it's a great kit. I would recommend it to anyone, especially like beginner builders. It's quick, fast, and easy. Has a lot of shelf presence, and overall, it's a really good kit. I want to thank everybody for coming. I appreciate everybody who's followed me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.